With me on the phone right now, I've got F Lee Harvey Blotto. My first question is, how did the Star Spangled Washboard Band become Blotto?
Well, they had been on the road for 6 or 7 years and were sick of it. And they all got apartments and they all got jobs in Albany. And about 3 months later, got bored and started playing out as Blotto. And when I joined the band, they told me, we're never going to go on the road. You know, we're never going to try to get famous. Just get that out of your mind. If something else comes along, take it. And, and then Lifeguard came along and everything changed.
Now, how did you actually meet up with the band?
I was playing in a different band in Albany, kind of a punk band, and we had a saxophone player who was also playing with Blotto on weekends up in Saratoga Springs, which was the only place they played for the first couple of years. And they couldn't find their drummer one Thursday night, and so called me to run up and fill in, and I did. And the rest is showbiz history.
You changed history at the Metro.
Yeah, before it was the Metro, it was 17 Maple Avenue.
17 Maple
kind of a biker bar. It was kind of a biker bar with a small room in the back that had stone walls, and it was referred to as the Blotto Grotto.
The Blotto Grotto, I love it. Let me ask you another question. This one's got me wondering. I'm sure it's got other people wondering as well. Where did all the names come from?
Well, Cheese Blotto, the late Cheese Blotto, had been called Cheese, I think, since he was a little boy. The rest of the guys, those names are sort of derivations of their Star Spangled Washboard Band names. My name came about after they called me on that Thursday night. I went in, I was working for the Public Service Commission in Albany. I was a state worker, and they told me I needed a Blotto name. And so I wrote a bunch of names on a memo and sent it off around the office. And Lee Harvey Blotto was the unanimous choice. So I went with it, not knowing that, here 40 years later, I'd be still being called that name.
Right. No fame. You'd never go on the road.
I might have picked something a little more tasteful if I'd known it would have this kind of staying power, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. If you could plan it, it wouldn't have worked the same way.
That's right.
Now, let me ask you another question. Everybody knows I want to be a lifeguard. Not so many people know Metalhead. Talk to me a little bit about the progression before the band eventually went their separate ways.
Well, we released our first record in early 1980, and not knowing, what was going to happen to it. And about 2 months later, we found we were getting heavy airplay for Lifeguard on WNEW in New York City, which at that time was, one of the most influential radio stations in the world. And so things took off. We all quit our jobs and hit the road, released another record in the summer of 1980. And then in the spring of 81, some SUNY students asked us if they could make a little movie based on I Want to Be a Lifeguard for their media class. And we said sure, and they made their little movie, and they got an A. And then in May of 81, they called us up and said some of our friends are going to work for this new company in New York City called Music Television, and they wanted to know if they could take a copy of the Lifeguard video with them. And so we wound up on MTV the first day MTV was on the air, and got heavy airplay there for, 2 years. In 82, we started recording the Combo Akimbo album, which included Metalhead, and that came out in, I think, mid-82. And Metalhead landed on MTV as well and got a lot of heavy airplay there. In 83, we toured with Blue Oyster Cult and continued touring heavily. And all this time, we were pitching the major record companies and never got an offer that we thought we could live with. We got a number of offers, but they were all, we thought, would doom us to obscurity. So we always put out stuff ourselves. We were always independent and still are. In 84, after another assault on the major record companies and getting turned down, we all decided that, we were just tired of, going 90 miles an hour in second gear and, suspended touring, and everybody went out and got jobs. But we have never stopped playing. We've played continuously since then.
Now, where did you end up? You took quite a different turn from being a drummer.
I wound up going to law school in '85 and graduated in '88, and now I live in Western Massachusetts, and I have my own law firm. I practice intellectual property law.
And you do one more thing now that sort of brought everything sort of to a final turn, which the day that I found this out personally, I couldn't believe it, and I thought that was fantastic.
Over the winter, the winter was so devastatingly bleak that out of boredom I started swimming, a couple of days a week. And then I noticed they were giving Red Cross Lifeguard certification courses, and I looked at it and went, I kind of got to do this, don't I? And so I did. I became a certified lifeguard, and my little town I live in, Monterey, Massachusetts, has got a town beach. And I, a day a week or so all summer, I was actually a lifeguard.
Do you hear the song in your head when you're looking out in the water?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's great. I put white stuff on my nose.
Oh, that's the best. Now, a couple of other quick questions that I have that are just sort of for fun. A lot of people are curious, what beach is that you filmed I Want to Be a Lifeguard on?
That was the $1 Million Beach in Lake George. We filmed it in, I think, early April. If you watch the video, which is on YouTube, you'll notice there's no leaves on any of the trees. And Val, our summer blonde, had no tan line. And we were supposed to go into the water up to our waists, but the water was just so incredibly cold, we went up to our ankles and waved our arms around. But yeah, that was right at the $1 Million Beach.
So we had thought that, actually. My buddy and I looked at that. We figured that. Now, you guys are going to be playing this weekend almost right on the same beach.
That's right. Apparently right across the street. We're going to be at the American Music Festival for the Lake on Saturday. We're scheduled to go on at 1:30, and that's at the Charles Wood Performing Arts Space. And it's a fantastic festival. It started last year and got rave reviews from everybody as being a wonderful, family-friendly, great vibe kind of music festival, and it's going all day Saturday and all day Sunday.
But you'll be there on Saturday with the rest of the band.
Yep.
All right, we'll see
and
you
coming
up there.
Coming after us is going to be Sawyer Fredericks, who's the kid from Fultonville who won The Voice this year, who's just an incredible singer, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
If I was an honorary member of the band, what would my Blotto name be?
Let's see. Station Break Blotto.
I love it. Fantastic. You had mentioned earlier that you used to play with Blue Oyster Cult, and used to tour with Blue Oyster Cult, and you got to do that again back in August.
Yeah, for the Alive at 5 show in Albany, the last one of the year. Last month we opened for our old pals Blue Oyster Cult, and there was something like 10,000 people outside on the Hudson River in Albany, and we just had a blast. And a number of people told us it was the best they've seen us in decades, which is kind of surprising, but there you go.
Now, in summation of everything that's gone on over the years, what is your most memorable thing that's happened as a member of Blotto?
Most memorable thing. I think the most memorable thing was hearing us on the radio in New York City for the first time. I was driving in Manhattan with my girlfriend. I was lost. We didn't know we were getting played in New York City. And a B-52 song came on. We were listening to WNEW, and this B-52 song came on, and I looked at my girlfriend and said, Lifeguard would sound really good after this. And she said, yes, it would. And about 30 seconds later, it did. It came on. And it was just one of those moments where you realize your life has just changed forever.
Hey, this is Sarge Blotto, and you're listening to Radio Break Blotto, my brother, Mike Dubray, on 98.5 WCKM. Don't touch that dial.